Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. This is the CSRN Video Minutes. This is our weekly podcast, and we talk about some of the things that we've done the past week, some of the things that we're doing right now, like talking to you, and some of the things that we got planned in the future. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he, him, one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Jabril Bey, Michael Leonardi. They're on Facebook, so go ahead and inbox them and tell them that's what's up. To come up with an idea that you really don't have to be a part of politics or religion to speak truth to power. And as always, I'm dedicated and committed to defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. So, hey, look, I'm going to throw it to Jody. If you could introduce yourself. I think I said everything on the beginning of my cheat sheet. I think I did. Um, if you could introduce yourself. What do you have on? All right. And how many bracelets can a person wear?
And do they hurt?
All right, everybody. What's up, everybody? Joe the J. Summers, child assistant, better known as Spoken Truth. To answer real quick questions before I do my whole cheat sheet, Brother Washington is awesome. He made sure all this stuff gets going together and has such an awesome sense of humor.
What?
Probably you don't see him on TV doing some show.
I used to
leave
be
us one day
for the wrong reason, but all right.
But to answer the wristbands, no. Yep, they are heavy, and I don't know. When one breaks, I replace it with another. So, yeah, I am a brown-skinned, big bear tone of a man that is covered in tattoos and wristbands and crystals and non-descriptive, non-corporate clothing versus local wear. Filthy Feathers right here from Toledo, Ohio. A shirt that my sister got me for my birthday. You'll always see me in something that's, I guess I'm the walking billboard. So I wear a lot of things, even though you see them less and less now as I've covered myself in more chains and vendor spots as I travel around the country and try and help communities grow. This is why also now I do wristbands. So wristbands and stuff because I cover shirts and you really won't see it. I don't like photoshops or pose things. I've kind of developed that when you see me in my photos, but that's more natural. And my pronouns are him, he, and we. I think that's my cheat sheet right there. And normally, for all those joining us, we thank you for joining us every single week. I'm also the treasurer of this organization. We have a full house today, so we got Ruth and Julian in the green room back there somewhere. And of course, we have our voice of the youth too. So you just ain't speaking to some old people that's got.
I thought I was the voice of the youth. When did they bump me out? They said when you became elder. All right, I got you. All right.
But so for everybody watching out there, also I think I'll try and explain more as I see more grassroots pop up. This is about to be a very interesting summer. I've been traveling back and forth between Columbus, meeting newfound groups and stuff like that. So what we do here typically in our podcast, which used to be our in-person meetings, which, all that stuff going on in the world, maybe we'll get back to that, but is kind of give you a description on structure. So this is also video, but it's repetition for us and a learning experience if you wanted to start your own nonprofit grassroots organization or something like that. So this is our mission statement, how most meetings are started, because you need to know why you're there. What's your purpose? How long do you plan on doing this? Or if there's an end cycle. For us, there's not, because, Black Lives Matter. But mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer, of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the fact that injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality, yes, police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy, citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community-based events to help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat, yes, a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Also, I want to add, Ma'Khia Bryant should be alive today.
I'm trying to stay focused, but I'm also looking at Ruth's shoes.
Oh, also, for my sci-fi fans out there, happy May the 4th be with you. I got something coming up in my section later.
Look at my face like, come on, man. All right. All right, hey, look, let's keep it moving, all right, because I see them doing the, keep it moving sign in the back. If you can introduce yourself, what do you have on? And I think you have the guiding principles.
For sure. My name is Bree Camden. Woo! I am a senior at the University of Toledo. Woo! I've been the research intern for CSRN this year. Woo! My pleasure. And my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I got on a UT sweatshirt. I wear this like every week. It's just kind of like my favorite piece of clothing. Jean jacket because it's a little cold outside, and some black leggings to go with my Adidas shoes. I'm happy to be here, and I'm going to take us into the guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor and working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women's lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children's lives. All Black lives matter, and our creators in this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we are currently living in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the impossible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love is principle and love is practiced in every element of what we do. Love and self-love must be the driver of all of our work and an indication of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360 vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements for tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is regular, consistent, intentional, and an essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in the leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Hey, stay tuned. We're gonna come right back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Click it on in. Hey, we are back. Man, we never get this thing smooth, all right?
No heads up.
No, I know. They don't say nothing. They just click it on, all right? They don't care. Did Michael Jackson have a song, They Don't Care About Us?
I don't want to say it, that they don't really
Right. They just have us out here looking all whatever type of way.
But that's good. It's natural. We ain't programmed, you know. We ain't got sponsors to feed.
Hey, not yet, all right? Then I'm going to switch up on everybody, all right? But anyway. Hey, okay, come on. You trying to
sell it out.
Mess up our meal. All right. Hey, look, we're back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes. You can follow us on Instagram at, what's our Instagram handle?
CSRN Toledo.
Follow us at CSRN Toledo on IG. All right.
Job for the intern.
Right. That's right.
None of us knew.
That's okay. We weren't supposed to know. All right. That was her first test.
Okay.
All right.
She passed.
She passed. That's all you got to do. Be a CSRN. Know our Twitter and our Instagram.
Or twiddle.
That's for the people 60 and over. It's a Twitter.
That's when Melinda Gates got in the divorce.
Hey, that's right. Okay. My wife can get the second. That's about all I got to
about to get a phone call like
I know.
Yep.
Hey, look, we're back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. Brother Washington. Hey, what I didn't say is what I have on. I've got on my glasses by Twix in Between from Optigo. That's our sister, Kristen Moncrief. If you see her in the eyeglass truck, the bus, she got it laid out inside. Very reasonable prices, very professional. Holler at her. And I have on my shirt, I got this through Sabrina Barnett Jameson. This is All Lives Can't Matter Until Black Lives Matter. So we're rocking that today. She had a family member that makes them. Inbox her. I think they were like $20. He said, don't worry about the shipping and handling. I'll ship it right to you. All right, before I got off the phone, down to police, it wasn't a shirt. But anyway, give me inbox Sabrina and she'll hook you up. Hey, listen, I want to start with Jody. You were in Columbus. You've been following up on Micaiah Bryant and the situation in Columbus. Hey, what can you tell us about what you've seen going back and forth from Toledo to Columbus?
Well, it has been a very interesting time. I've been back and forth to Columbus 3 times since Friday. The first time I was there, well, actually since last week, 4 times, because last week I was there for the Micaiah Bryant Should Be Alive. Just gonna keep saying that protest there, and also Casey Goodson, Adam Toledo. I could go on, but while I was there this Friday, there was an event held that basically no more names. So as we all do the, I guess the same that we've been doing for all these years, say their name. I noticed something in Columbus that they also say, which one?
Wow.
Really have to think about that and put that into context. Actually for all 3 days, we had an event where we had broken records, because that's what it's kind of become. with the names of the people that's been murdered, not over the years, but just since the court case, since our big victory of him getting convicted. And it's definitely different. Over this weekend or week, I got to meet Makai Grant's parents, Casey Goodson's parents, other family members that have actually come to speak to protesters and organizers and demonstrators and medical help people, because there's a lot that goes into an protest. Legal observers, safety people, and then you have the people that just want to lay in the middle of the street and have a camera in their face. But again, as long as you're bringing some awareness and you're not trying to feed off of somebody else's pain, I'm good with you. In bigger cities, there are a lot of issues, because here in Toledo, we're kind of, consolidated and safe. A group pops up, they do an event, and we just keep chugging along. So we may see them sometime down the road, but with them, it's somewhat a contrast, because you have all these people in this larger city that have different views. They may want one thing, and as we faced when we were starting, I mean, it's true, we're smaller, we didn't have as much problems, and we just took some people to the trunk. But with them there, it's, you got a group that they all say Black Lives Matter, but some people are for get the shot, or I don't like the way animals are treated, or Planned Parenthood, or this political party. When we were there, we haven't really had too much of it here, but they had the Libertarians, and they come with automatic weapons and looking like a militia and all that stuff. So you really have to understand when you go to different cities. Like, I get to travel a lot. I'm not the field agent because I'm treasurer, but even I'm just a guy. So I don't need a title and stuff. I just go off to places if I'm asked there. And with that, I saw a lot of, I guess I could say, some disrespect, that your movement or your voice is louder than the people that actually have to live there. If I go somewhere and I'm protesting, demonstrating, whatever the case may be, I want to leave the people there who have to wake up every day in that place safer than when I came. I want to just say, hey, I took pictures, did some things, and I broke a window. And now Bobby, who rides past that place every day, has to get shot because of it, because now the police is mad thinking it was him. But other than that, it was good. I met a lot of organizers. Cynthia Brown. I'm not good with names. Sorry for people watching the stuff. I don't watch TV. I don't read the news. I create art, books, nonprofit organizations, take political offices, and get on boards to help the city grow. Who's on TV? Who's promoting something? I don't know. If it doesn't come down my timeline, or I'm counseling people or creating art, I don't know who you are. And again, I love these people that's here with me because I see them enough. It's nothing wrong with you. I just have issues with remembering names if I don't see you consistently doing work. So if I didn't see Brother Washington for about a month or so, I may forget his name.
Out of sight, out of mind.
But I thought it was good. When I was there yesterday, we were putting in the names or the signatures for qualified immunity, which we are bringing here. Shout out to Mike Hawk and Buckeyes and Beyond. Get that names. But shout out to him. He was my travel companion. I also met a wonderful organizer by the name of Heather Johnson, who does a lot of work in Columbus. So shout out to her. If you're down there, I would suggest you connect to her. She seems to know who the groups are that are actually doing things for the community versus just showing up for a protest or march. Because right now, I think when we were there for the signature turn in, she was helping mothers get food because they're still having eviction problems. There's a lot of problems going on in the world. But I love that I can go to places and still see people happy, still see people dance. Came back here and we had our own event for justice and peace and all of that, with things that they're working on, because they can't just go up to their elected officials and their politicians. They have to lobby to do that. We don't. I know where you live. I see you at your meeting, whether it's Blue Plate or whatever. You're sitting there like, hey, so how about that issue on the forum next week? But they can't do that. So I appreciate their fight. They actually got it to where they can't be rubber bulleted, no mace and stuff like that, which I'll hold my breath and see if the police follow that, because they got body cameras, they got all this other stuff, but yet they'll still pull a gun over a taser. So with that, the trip was good. I liked what we did here too because I could see it happening on a larger scale, where it's not just us who show up, but you got this. Maybe one city official. Shout out to Katie for showing up out of all the people. I don't know what Wade was or anybody, but the Health Human Relations Commission was there. We had artists there. We had the Toledo Orchestra and Symphony, and it shows what a community can do when we talk versus pointing fingers and being loud and saying that post isn't accurate and just because I think it's so.
All right, you know, talking about speaking of being accurate, we have probably one of the best interns anybody could possibly have
Ever.
Brianna.
Hyping me.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people say police reform, but it's much more than that. What are some of the things that you found interesting, you know, in your research? If you could go over that, and then I think we're going to take a short break and bring back Julian and Ruth.
The most interesting thing that I found, like overall, is how much, even when you approach police reform, you are still helping the police. One of the case studies that I was looking into in, I believe, Salt Lake City, they are a population similar to Toledo, and they're trying to come up with this social worker program to kind of be able to de-escalate those situations that the police come into. It's basically social workers with guns, and police and social workers are like just teaming up to do what the job of policing is. And so finding out that, you know, reforming an unjust system will only end up feeding back into that system. You're still going to be giving them money for body cams, money for training, you know, money for hiring more people. And we have to get over that hump if we ever want to make progress. So it's been radicalizing, you know, the research that I have done and the things that I have found. I can't ever look at the police the same or expect anyone to, you know, I've put a lot of hours into all of this research, so I can't automatically expect people to like see where I'm coming from and be at my level. But it doesn't mean that I'm discouraged from trying to get them to see the better side of things, because, you know, the goal has to be to live in a society without policing. It just has to be, you know. At the foundation of it. What'd you say?
I said animals don't get police, but if they be fine.
I swear. Like, we lived so long without the police. I don't know where everyone got these ideas. Oh, I know. The white man.
There we go.
I said it.
Yes. Yes.
I know they're listening. Yes.
It's lit.
All right, hey, look. All right, hey, look, listen, we're going to take a short break on that, all right? Hey, look, I tell people, listen, don't get on here if you don't want to hear the truth, all right? I said, if you didn't want to hear me say what I had to say, shouldn't have invited me. But this CSRN Video Minutes will come right back. We got Julian, we got Ruth, and then we're about ready to shut it down.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober, safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Hey, we are back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes. We're going to get that one day. We should just work on transition. Work on transition. Work on transition. Work on transition. This is like a team. Everybody does their part. All right, and I fumble it at the 3-yard line. Hey, look, this is CSRN Video Minutes. I have Julian. I have Ruth. We're going to talk about other news, either the State of the Union speech, or why we, all right, or why do we continue to fight? And we're even going to dabble into how do we stay well in 2021, being a part of the activist community and protest culture. How does all of that happen? So listen, I want to go ahead and start with Julian. All right, I want to go ahead and start with Julian because we wrap it up with Ruth because what she has to bring today, definitely we need to take a break after that. So Julian's like the warm-up act, all right?
Oh.
I'm like the comedy, what is that, comedy relief?
There you go.
In between.
You're the color commentator.
I'm still gathering my thoughts though.
I can jump in
I
first.
need
I can jump in
It's
first.
been a lot going on.
Okay,
All right, so I will jump out there and say
Oh,
hello, everyone. My name is Ruth Leonard. I am the administrative lead for CSRN. I have on a gray and white juke mode sweatshirt that just simply says Toledo. My hair is pulled back into like a big puff, and I am a medium brown skin complected woman wearing gold hoop earrings and a crystal around my neck. I will say I did watch the State of the Union. Biden's I think he was just shy of his first 100 days. He was full of all of the joy and hope and love that anyone is in their first 100 days. There's still a lot of work that has to be done. Like, no matter the great elocution that he had, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in America. And the reason why I know that to be true is because less than 5 minutes after he finished, Tim Scott came on and was an embarrassment to all melanated people across this world. First, in simply stating that America is not racist when America was founded on the principle of racism. Secondly, in his just overall belief that Republicans are the end-all be-all savior to America as a whole, which when you piggyback that on America not being racist, it's just like, come on, dude, wake up, get out of the sunken place. Let's you're too much of an embarrassment at this point. Like, at first it was funny, now it's just sad and we got to get you out. Especially being a black man who represents South Carolina, like, ew. In regards to the state of the world or the state of Toledo over the past month, I did get the chance to attend the HRC event last weekend at Ottawa Park, and I can say that I don't know what has changed in the HRC. I don't know, maybe it's because we're opening the city, the country, the world, whatever you have back up. But HRC has really been doing a lot of really good work. So I do want to commend any and everyone who was a part of that committee. Thank you for hosting these events. Thank you for putting together those gift bags for the community members. It's a small token that I think really does lay the groundwork as an example of what other committees in the city can do.
Thank you, Gutter Dave, for the art.
Yes, thank you, Gutter Dave, for the art. He did an amazing piece. Just in the midst of being at the event, it was like a gigantic sunflower, and then underneath it, it looked like a man's face.
What does HRC stand for? Is that the Hillary Rodham Clinton Committee?
You're a terrible human being.
Yeah, just
And
wondering
it
for folks
stands
who don't know.
for the Human Relations Committee. No, don't. So the Human Relations Committee, as far as I know, that includes people like Sierra Webb, Karen Maloney. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm blanking on this right now. Brianna Reynolds. I know that on the directors committee, Dr. P is on there. And it's just a collection of men and women, as far as I know, across the city who want to really take a step forward in the right direction towards having organic conversations about how we can come together, because the first step in creating any sort of solution is to admitting that there is a problem. And for so many other organizations in the city, it's always this conversation. It's almost like a Tim Scott type of conversation where it's like it doesn't exist and we don't have to talk about this. But we do have to talk about the fact of incidents of police brutality. We have to talk about the effect that George Floyd had on us, not only as a country, but as a city. We have to talk about the need for everyone to come together in the name of peace so that we can have organic conversations that allow everyone's voice to be heard and no one is being silenced and no one is being pushed out. That HRC is really one of the only organizations that I've seen that has at least reached out to CSRN and has wanted some sort of interaction and input with some of the people who are doing the groundwork. So thank you to HRC. Tim Scott, you're garbage. And yeah, I think that's it.
Well, before we get to Julian, are you about ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we wanted to hear from you. Then I had a follow-up question from you for Ruth, but I'd rather ask you right now. What were your views about the State of the Union? What were your views for the first time? There were two women seated behind the president. That's never happened before like that. What were some of the things that went through your mind while you were watching that, or maybe watching the rebuttal afterward? What was on your mind?
Yeah, well, hi, my name is Julian. I'm wearing a mud made shirt, Toledo made, and a hat with several Black freedom fighters mugshots on there.
Okay.
With John Lewis, Angela Davis, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, etc. As a tribute to my ancestors.
Where'd you get that?
I believe melonful.net.
Mm.
Yeah. They've taken a lot of my money. I've given them a lot of my money. Look, with those aggressive Facebook ads, it almost is. I'm like, oh, I can't help buy that. But yeah. So I guess I'll be honest. Like I'm still. I feel like there's like a PTSD that like we're suffering from post Trump syndrome. You know, where what is normal is kind of being redefined, and I'll say Joe Biden is about as normal as an American president as you'll get. Right. Still capitulates to corporate interests. Still. Gives the guise of equality and things of that matter. I will say I am a bit, I don't even want to use the word impressed, but I think that the Biden administration realizes that they have a short amount of time to act, and they are trying to get things done. Right. I was glad to hear that the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act got that type of push on that type of stage. I've never heard an American president on that type of bully pulpit talk about white extremism and white supremacy and systemic racism. I've just never heard it before. So I think that says something. I think saying that says something. But those words of Fred Hampton, words are beautiful, but action supreme. I think he's quoting Che Guevara in regards to that. But so the words are there. The words have been there. But it's about the action that follows up. At the end of the meeting last week, one of the things we discussed was when the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act was sent over to the Senate, they took out the part about ending qualified immunity on a national level, right? And this is something that I think really applies locally because that's something we're fighting for locally. So just to see how these struggles are interconnected, to see how I'm gonna lie, y'all. Look, Brianna, he's taking some of my motivation away sometimes. No, because sometimes it's like, I am a reformer. I am a reformer, right? Like when I sit here and think, can I just be honest for a minute? Sure. Like I'm a reformer, and I think about change and how can I take my ice pick and chip away at this terrible block of white supremacy. When I hear Brianna speak, and I'm so like, you're so right. She's so right with everything she says. Like, sometimes I feel, I mean, I think maybe I'm going through an evolution myself. You know what I mean? Where I'm not sure if I should continue to dwell or put so much effort into reform when, like, this whole iceberg needs to go down, right? And so I've been doing my own kind of soul searching in regards to that, and it's a lot. I'm finding my way. Each week I come here and I hear Brianna go before I talk. I'm like, I don't know what to say because everything she said is right.
Right.
And so and so I really don't want to talk about reform.
Well, but you can, because what Brianna is saying, when we talk about abolition, all right, that's the end game. And within our solidarity pledge, we strive to be a part of the solution, the process. All right. And while we're on the road to reform, the end game is abolition.
That's right.
The end game is we're going to protect our own cities. The end game is we're going to protect and monitor our own communities. All right. So yes, some talk of reform is going to be on the way to abolition. All right. She's already there.
I know. I'm trying to catch up.
And so one of the things that I was taught, this had to be nearly 20 years ago, that on the road to freedom, you're going to have to lose faith in all of the institutions. All right. I've lost that decades ago. That's why I could sit with you and understand. That's why I could sit with Brianna and Ruth. I understand that all of this is coming down. All right. The only thing that's holding these systems up is us and our faith, our unrelenting Tim Scott level faith in it. All right.
And you know, I think one of the things that was really disheartening this week is a video surfaced. It was about a year old, of a Lucas County sheriff officer arresting a person of melanin descent outside of a Walmart. I think he was a cab driver. And I promise you, within about 5 seconds, this man the situation escalated very quickly, right? And, it's wild because the way I heard about the video was the Sylvania Police Department and the Lucas County Sheriff's Office had issued a statement and said, we're aware of the video that's going around. And the officer has been disciplined. And I read that. I said, well, that's rather vague. What's this is going on? I can't put my finger on it. I haven't seen this yet. And so I did a little digging, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is disgusting. This is just flat out disgusting. I mean, the man just literally asked. He was parked in a no parking zone at Walmart.
That's where I
He's
parked.
A cab driver. And
that's my spot.
That's your spot.
That's an important part of the story.
and I mean, but he never got an explanation on why, he was even being detained or talked to. And I think the most troubling part of that, there was a whole dialogue. It's about a 9-minute video. But I've never heard, we're getting to this point, and I think a lot of this happened in the Trump administration, and where white folks are feeling like you call out whiteness. I think he called somebody white a redneck, right? And the officer used verbiage that said that was hate speech, and used that as grounds, said he was menacing, and used that as grounds to arrest him. Right. And that was I think a detail that the media did not bring up. But I think that is a detail that's worthy of being discussed.
Okay.
right? Especially in this particular form, when we have a reverse racism isn't real, is not a thing. Um, I think the amount of gaslighting that we have to go through in this country is preposterous.
Okay.
Right? To even suggest that America is not a racist country after after literally a global uprising due to racism in America is simply preposterous, right? And is gaslighting behavior that if you buy too much into that narrative and proving it wrong, I think can be harmful for one's mental health. Like this is crazy. Like we've seen racism,
Right,
and we
right.
see it every single day.
Right.
To even suggest that it's not real or that this country is not racist or has ever or that there's ever been a day in American history that has not been a racist day is literally preposterous. So yeah, I try to take that in stride as we pay attention to what happens locally and globally. But as we looking at these body cams, again, to bring it back to abolition is the future. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, perhaps near millions, were spent on these body cams to catch this type of inappropriate behavior, and for what? For harsh talking to? Because that's what happened when we actually dug and figured out what happened to this officer. It was a verbal reprimand.
Attaboy.
Yeah, there was a verbal reprimand.
Don't
right?
get caught next time.
And so we have, so we have to ask.
All right.
And like I said, I'm in the process of this evolution, and I guess I'm just going to go through it live with you all with me. You know what I mean? And you experience it as I grow,
or not.
you get to see it too. You know what I mean?
Yay.
All right. Okay. All right.
So I'm so happy to be here.
All right. Hey, look. Hey, that's rude. All right. All right, that's rude. Hey, look. I wanted to ask this after talking about, we talk about reform, we talk about abolition, we talk about revolutionizing the prison industrial complex. In the end game, we want everything gone. All right. And that's fine. What do we do until then? It's up to us. All right.
Yeah.
So, having said that, I wanted to ask both of you, starting with Ruth, and then maybe you could finish up before we take our short break. Why do we continue to fight? If things look bleak for others, because others have said, hey, look, Brother Washington, I don't know why y'all do that. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change, and everything changes. But why do you continue to fight? And then let's hear from Julian.
I don't have the luxury of giving up. There's too much history in the fight towards being a revolutionary change agent that every attempt I think that's made towards revolutionizing America, towards forcing the mirror that is held up to the history of this country sparks the flame in one person's mind that is the change agent. And we're all change agents in our own right? Like whether it's in a classroom, or if it's in a mosque, or if it's walking across a stage, or if it's performing on a stage, or if it's creating something for the next generation. There hasn't been enough progress to think that I can sit down.
That's right.
I can take a break. I can recalibrate. I can get myself back in order, but there's still so much work that has to be done. And I think it's always there's constantly someone on the other side of the conversation that sparks that flame that gets you to realize you're not done yet. For myself, it was Tim Scott. To see someone take up a national platform and to say that he does not see what is directly in front of him means that everyone's work is not done, right? Because it's so blatant, just the hypocrisy of it all, that it would be a disservice to not speak out. It would be selling out to think that I can stop now, to think that I no longer have to speak my truth. And I think that that's what keeps me going forward, is just the general notion that there's still so much left, right? Like I think everyone has seen like the phrasing, "I am my ancestors' wildest dreams."
Yeah.
And that's enough in itself to know that I come from a line of people where I can trace my lineage back to Cuba, and to know where my ancestors started, where it was limited in a lot of different ways, the opportunities that were available, and to see me now having access and not using this access to continue to push forward to make sure that the next generation is even further than this one is. I think that's why it has to continue. It has to just keep moving forward so that you don't have a generation of people who believe that Tim Scott is right. Like, I want it to be known, I don't like Tim Scott. And everything that he stands for is what I fight against. So as long as there are people who believe in that notion, I have to keep fighting.
All right, Julian, I thank you, Rowan, for commenting. All right, she was with us on the qualified immunity protest that we did. Julian, we're going to close this segment out. Man, you've been in this since what, 2014, 2013?
Before CSRN.
Yeah, before CSRN. And you're still here.
Yeah.
Or as many others that you may not see in the studio or on a news segment. It's just not the people that you see. There's a lot of people that make this happen,
Yeah.
But we volunteer to be that public face that gets the scorn, gets the opposition, gets the heat, the smoke, or whatever. Hey, bring it. Why do you continue to fight? What about you?
I mean, the same reason it started. I think I have to be an active participant in my own survival, right? The issue of white supremacy and the threat, the imminent threat of white supremacy puts my life in danger and the life of most of those that I love, not close to all. And who am I not to try to protect them, right? It's very clear racism hasn't ended in America, right? So what does racism manifest itself as violence, right? As poverty, as a lack of resources, as a lack of care. And that kills. That not only takes lives, but it takes imaginations. It takes and crushes the souls of people who are still alive. And I believe in the power of each one teach one. I believe in the power that one spark has to ignite an entire flame, to ignite an entire, fire. you know. And so I got started because I looked to my left, looked to the right, and looked through my phone. And at the time I started protesting, I didn't have anybody to protest with, you know. And I'm thankful that I have so much gratitude, right, for CSRN and other organizations that are around, and people who have given me the privilege, right, to be able to address my mental health and keep the flame going, right? Because there was a time when that wasn't the case, and that is the case now, right? The protests just don't stop just because I have to take care of myself, and I'm grateful for that, right? But look, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and there's a lot of influence that one person can have, and I can't underestimate, right? Like, I mean, I think we've all kind of showed some sort of appreciation for Brianna, right? Who's been here for a couple months. The difference that she's made, right, just in these couple months, just having one more extra person be able to plug in is stupendous, right? It's hard to even for me to verbalize and to put into words, right, of how much of a difference one person can make. So, you know, this is a struggle that every single generation of Black folks have had to do here in this country, and it's been our duty to do and to step into that role. And not only do I consider it a duty, I consider it an honor, right, to be able to push the paradigm forward until victory is won and for our liberation.
All right. Well,
Right now,
Okay.
all right. Hey, I ain't gonna say no more. All right.
I actually have to clap for that one.
Right. I will too. That was pretty good, Julian.
Oh,
That was awesome, brother. Hey, look, we're about to shut it down. All right, we're about to shut it down. When we come back, we're going to talk about briefly. Well, we're going to talk about Juneteenth. We're going to talk about the South Side update regarding the landfill or the mulch plant. We got the Glass City Juneteenth. We got the at the Dub where we're going to be marching to the Dub. We're going to talk about that, and also I want to talk to you about Hill Harper, the actor. All right, I want to talk about Hill Harper. So
Wait, what did he do?
Hey, don't worry about that. That's going to be.
Don't forget, when we come back, we're going to talk about Juneteenth. So,
And Hill Harper.
Do you care? Do you care? Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Fall back and check yourself. Fall back and check yourself. Fall back and check yourself. Fall back and check yourself.
Hey, we are back. I'm glad. We're just about to have some drama here, all right? So I'm glad that the camera guy said, hey, shut it down, bring you guys back. Hey, this is CSRN Video Minutes. Not real quick, but what I do want to bring up, what we want to bring up on the screen is first the, I guess I can still be heard, and I've got that, we put that right in the middle. And listen, for, at the corners of Airport in Bern,
So that's
Clearwater, Clean Water Recycling wants to put a mulch dump right there. It's going to bring down property values. It's going to create a horrible stench. It's going to screw up all of the thoroughfare in traffic. So right now, myself, you've got Bill Hogue. His number is on here. Give him a call. Ask him what is it that you can do, to prevent this from happening. We have got a reprieve so far that they haven't started any work there. We have the email addresses of all of the city council members. Please continue your emails. It does make a difference when you email. They get the message, so continue doing that. What else I want to discuss real quick is how do you get swag from CSRN? Well, you go to our website. So somebody said, hey, what's the website? Well, website. Thanks. I'm glad you mentioned that. It is CSRN
Toledo.com. There we go.
All right. And that right there, you can. Let's see, what do they have on the website? Let's check it out and see. All right. We've got our signs, yard signs. We've got the wristbands. You saw Jody earlier. I think he won. He's got all of the wristbands. So order a wristband. You will show up, and Jody will be able to just take a wristband off his arm, all right, and give it to you.
Okay. We actually have them, in social distance bags.
He has all of our wristbands on his wrist, all right? Man, all right, how does that even happen?
Free promo.
Right, we've got our water bottles, we've got our stickers, we've got our buttons, we've got keychains, everything.
Got my artwork eventually, for people that don't know. Matter of fact, when you come back, we're gonna do this. So you got my artwork, which is up there eventually on the page, and you'll be able to purchase that at a discounted price on the page. It's my kind of thing, and see, he brought the camera back already, but that's okay, because see, I got a little table here, and that's why I've been working on my computer. So for everybody in the May the 4th, somebody asked me to do this. So if you're a Star Trek fan, just play the music in your head, because we might get copyright issue and stuff. But as so you got the artwork. Can't see that. But you'll be able to get artwork on the page. You'll be able to get my books as well. There'll be a link on there to Amazon, and proceeds go out to help us and all that good stuff. And see.
Okay.
Stickers. Other stickers.
Okay. There you go.
Did not know that until he pulled that up.
Some people's actually using them as collector cards, so you might think about that too. Put it on a magnet, stick it somewhere. Look, I'm gonna start talking.
All right. Also, I wanted to talk about May the 19th, which is a Wednesday. I like to see everybody come to St. Martin de Porres, come to the parking lot. It's on a Wednesday. Why? Because it just is. Hill Harper, who you know from the Good Doctor and a lot of other movies and television programming, he has launched the digital wallet called Black Wall Street Digital Wallet. If you've been hearing a lot about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, you've been hearing a lot about what is this? What does it mean to Black people? Well, at one point, you know that a lot of us didn't have debit cards, and we weren't using plastic at the stores. Now, there's some of us that hardly ever carry dollars with us. All right, that's almost a thing in the past. So what we want to do on the 19th, May 19th, thank you, Jody. Jody's like, I still got $1. I don't want it. I'm gonna take that.
I'm a server, so
right. So okay, all right. Oh man, okay.
Hard left.
I know.
You started it.
I know.
You ain't got cash.
All right. But But on the 19th, because economics is a part of the struggle too. And without economics, hey, we just sharecropping. All right,
You know, though, I have to say,
Yes.
is black capitalism our way? Is that black capitalism?
Well, number one,
or is that empowering?
Well, number one, when we talk about black capitalism, that's like reverse racism because capitalism is the feeling that money is worth more than humans. See, we're black, and even if we started doing business for ourselves, we would do it different.
Mm-hmm.
We would never do it with the heartlessness as our former slave masters and their children. So when people start talking about black capitalism, we have never even seen that before. Remember, right after the Emancipation Proclamation, there were a lot of us that just built our own towns. Yeah. We weren't subjugating anyone. We didn't enslave anyone. We just decided to do things on our own. We wouldn't even call it black capitalism because that's an oxymoron. How can you be black and white at the same time? White people created capitalism to enslave us.
But so, if black people participate and they become the same position as a white man within that system, can it perpetuate the same type of harm? Like a black person, just because a black person has a business doesn't mean they won't be exploiting the workers that they use, you know?
Well, I checked my
or if they get $1,000 or $1 million on Bitcoin doesn't mean they're going to redistribute that to their community.
Well, you know.
So is that what we want?
Well, but here's the thing. In order to have any type of example of that, you'd have to have black people free in their own country for 400 years and see how they operate. You see, you've had white people here in America, us working for them for nearly 3 centuries for free, which has created who they are. Now, we'd have to have the same type of control group as they did to see if we would do the same thing. But we have never in history have enslaved anyone. We have never done the things that white people have done to us. So if one of us get an opportunity to make more than $100,000 a year, there is no way we can be put in the place of white people because two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. And they would never allow any of us to reach any of those heights at their permission. So when we talk about economics, we're talking about getting control of it ourselves. And if we're thinking about getting in control of it ourselves, then definitely we wouldn't be operating like that. And those black people with white mindsets, they wouldn't even want to join us. They would stay with their former slave masters and their children. So what we're going to be discussing on Wednesday, the 19th, is how to better manage our money, how to take an opportunity to take advantage of the times that we're living in, not to become white, but to try to use and glean some of the tools that we can, because some of the things that we in our guiding principle, we talk about not needing the antiquated tools of the past. We're trying to embrace what's happening now. The American dollar is falling. All right, it is a fiat currency, and something is taking its place. So I'd like for you to come out, check out what we're talking about. You sure
you want me there? Because I will challenge now.
No, yes. I mean, but feel free. Feel free to challenge. Feel free to challenge. I love it, but the reality is, until we have enough time to have our own country, until we have enough time to have our own government, and then see how we treat others, we are the only people on the planet who have never governed themselves.
Wait, but don't African countries have a lot of corrupt government?
But we are here, and if they are corrupt, it's because they've been colonized.
Okay.
All
I
right.
see where you're coming from.
Right. So history is important. Context is important, and the ability to have some elders that can fit some things that it just didn't start yesterday. All right. So in our sojourn to come back to ourselves, this is a process. And going through this process, some of the things might look strange and unusual, but if you can respect yourself and respect others and be mindful, we're not trying to tell anyone to have blind faith in anyone. We're trying to accumulate knowledge, accumulate skills. I used to tell my sons, sending them to the schools that they went to, we call it taking it back from them and beating them with it. So we can do that with land. We can do that with resources. Just because we have resources doesn't mean that we have to become them. We can unite, and we can do it in a principled way. All right.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Speaking of that, Juneteenth. On it's at the 19th of June, Saturday,
Yes.
the 19th of
Yes.
June. Join us at the Frederick Douglass Community Center from 1 to 5. We're going to start with a march from Swainfield. We did that last year, all right? And then I would like for everyone to join us at the Glass City Pavilion. We're having a Juneteenth celebration there. That's downtown Front Street, 12 to 8. So even though some people are going to be at the Dug, hey, look, bounce from the Dug to downtown. That's what we did last year. It was Black love everywhere. So the Glass City Pavilion, downtown, on the water, 12 to 8. This year's going to be lit with Juneteenth. And if you're watching this, and if you want to have a Juneteenth event yourself, man, do it. All right. You have every right to for self-determination and do what you feel is right. Now, having said that, we talked about our swag. We talked about Hill Harper. All right. No, he's not going to be here. All right. Some of the people from his digital team will. All right. He's taping right now for the Good Doctor, and they have a 30-city tour. Toledo is one of the cities, and I'm helping to organize that day of the team coming here to Toledo, learn something new. All right, nobody's obligated to do anything, but just learn something new. Having said that, Jody, this is a special time at CSRN, and I really want to kind of shift the energy from teachable moments to celebratory. All right. Okay. We've got Brianna here. All right. And I don't know if we can. I don't know how we can squeeze Ruth or we've got Brianna here.
Oh my God, Brianna, we love you so much.
Yes.
Go, Brianna!
Whole family
All right,
here.
right. Okay, listen, family.
Oh, thank you.
You welcome, girl.
Our sister graduates.
Yeah!
Thank you.
She graduates
Smart.
from the University of Toledo.
Ooh.
And
Wait, tell us what your program is.
right.
Oh, I'm a law and social thought major and
Yes.
environmental science minor.
Explains so much.
Yes. So I am a critical thinker about the ways in which the world is.
And you heard us just talk, all right?
Yep.
And she good. Because I'm like, how she okay,
How you know them words?
I got you anyway, but I love that. And we need more of that. Continue and the beautiful thing about now is that young people are asking follow-up questions. Whereas people my age, we are on face value stuff. You tell us one thing, yep, we believe it.
Okay.
We don't. So that's why I love working with young people. You keep it sharp. All right. Do not feel bad about asking people follow-up questions. Most of us know. We just don't want you to know that we know. All right. Listen, what the journey from high school? Whoa, it's got the tag on it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, fresh new tea.
Yes.
Beautiful,
You know I'm
beautiful.
gonna be wearing this.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome. welcome.
The journey. How's the journey been from high school to college? And a lot of us don't make it. All reminds me of the Middle Passage. Everybody didn't make it. Those that made it is us. We are the strongest of the strong. Even of the weakest of us is the strongest of the strong. All right, and you made it. You made it. What was that journey like? Oh, come on! Don't you dare cry. All right. What was that journey? What was that journey like? What was the sacrifice like? Like to bring you to here?
It was a lot, Jody and I have similar, past. I'm also a child from the system, and being adopted was an adjustment. And I just, even like standing here today, I sit here and I think like, would I have made it here if I was never adopted? It's a lot of imposter syndrome to try to get over, thinking like, maybe I wouldn't have been as smart if I wasn't adopted and moved to a better community where I was given resources and more support.
Sounds like you read The Lost Storyteller.
Yeah. And now it's like, I just have to kind of realize like, this is my path. I was going to make it here regardless. This is where I was meant to be. So, there's a lot of people that I met along the way I wish would be standing beside me. Like, but I just realized they got their own path too. And that's for them to figure out. That I just got to stay focused on where I want to go with life and help as many people along the way. So, but it's been a lot of sacrifice. I've been a completely different person than I was my freshman year.
No.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Freshman year, if it was a nice day, I was going to go hang. Now today, I got to finish up some edits on my thesis, and I'll be a college grad by the end of the week.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, Jody. Man. I see you got some writings, some poetry,
signed art.
Some signed art. We're waiting for some 5 minutes of heat. And we're going to close out with Brianna and the Solidarity Pledge. This is a really special time, family. A lot of our youth don't make it. And the youth that do make it, we don't celebrate them enough. We give more attention to some of our young people that have been caught in the traps of society, a society that they didn't build themselves. All right. That's why me as an older person, I take it personal, and I take it as a personal responsibility to change things, to be there to let them know that all of us may not have your best interests. So keep asking questions. All right. Keep asking questions until you hear what you want to hear. Jody.
So also for everybody, if you watch my page and stuff like that, canvas prints are here.
They look good too.
Very, very impressive. So these are the first people that's actually going to get to touch them, and I'm going to let them touch them a little bit and stuff. Wow.
I can't believe I've never.
This is like legit canvas.
Yeah. So prices. If you're wondering why I've like also been over here to the side of the camera. So right now I'm updating 6 of my pages with a new price list and getting ready to launch that stuff, because I kind of did a sneak teaser the other day with this one. And the moment I posted it, in 30 moments, somebody bought it. And so I'm trying to update everything with the dream boxes and all that, because I'm going to go full canvas from the 8.5. You still will be able to get the this size, which is the same size, but it's actually a heavy duty glossy photo paper. So, but now we have canvas. And so 5 minutes of heat is a piece I really enjoy. It's one, there's a lot of activism pieces I could do. They're not all kid friendly. They're not all nicety in a way. So this is one that I actually use a lot when I'm at community centers or speaking to foster kids or speaking to stuff, so it can encourage them. It's called Dog Tired, Waiting on a Price Check for the Future, or Dog Tired. It's actually a combination of a couple poems I did back in 2018, and I just made them, I guess, performance versus being a minute or so. So let's begin. Peace. I am tired of fighting hate. Yes, I am tired of fighting hate. Muddled resentment gained throughout years of oppression that have only taught us to reject or disrespect any form of unity that does not come from revolution. I am tired of fighting fear, burning bridge after bridge, so scared to cross the rivers of tears that fill up dark chasms and fractures, yes, fractures created by people who are no longer here. I am tired of fighting ghosts, the not so distant memories that keep recurring and causing devastation, yes, devastation in a world they do not know. Even though I cannot see them, I see the terror all around, the devastation they leave in their wake from broken souls and empty mouths. I am tired of fighting myself. Yes, I am tired of fighting myself. To look in the mirror and tell myself I have to do better, that all I accomplished yesterday was just a memory, and today is the day it gets better. Today is the day that the world will change and stop pointing fingers, waiting for blame, creating nightmares, yes, nightmares out of nothing, while our children face a world that is no longer safe. I am tired, but I will stand up today, because I and you, yes, all of you, are $1,000,000 idea. And it has nothing to do with where I come from, the color of my skin, what country I live in, how religiously devout or spiritually connected I am. It is because we, yes, we are creation, that infinitesimal amount of spark that every living being has within them, that substance that cannot be created, cloned, programmed, repurposed, or monetized. I and you are $1,000,000 idea. I will not be goaded into believing that I am sheep put to pasture, to graze on the land that you gave me. I will not be bought and sold into believing the dream that everything can be sold as long as you have the right price. I and you are $1,000,000 idea. Unless you pay the price with your soul that is far more precious than any earthly possession we barter and trade to keep us old and in chains. I and you will always be out of reach for them to enslave. I and you are $1,000,000 idea. And I am dog tired of waiting for the price check on the future that is already here. In peace.
Okay, Jody.
Wow. Every time I just kind of elevate.
There you go.
You know?
Beautiful.
I
Beautiful,
think that I'm
Jody.
$1,000,000 idea.
That's right. That's right. Hey, look, let's shut it down. Brianna, if you could do us the honors of
One more again.
one more again. Let me cut that out. They back there making faces.
We're talking about black capitalism and the $1,000,000 idea. If you must know, bringing it all together.
Yes.
Remember that's oxymoron.
Yeah.
All right.
I am $1,000,000 socialist
I was trying to
Order-
process, figure out where to put
order-
that in my
order
brain.
the room.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Take it away, Brianna.
Alive today.
All right. To the solidarity pledge.
Yes.
I
I,
say your name
Jody
proudly.
Washington,
pledge to strive,
Pledge to strive
to love my brothers and sisters,
to love my brothers and sisters
as I love myself,
as I love myself.
I
I,
say your name,
Bruce,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive
to study,
to study
to improve myself,
to improve myself
spiritually, mentally,
mentally,
morally,
morally,
and physically,
for
for the benefit of myself,
the benefit of myself,
my family,
my family,
and my people.
and my people.
I say your name,
Bruce,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive
to be part of the solution,
to be a part of the solution,
the process,
the process,
and not the problem.
and not the problem.
I say your name,
True.
pledge to strive,
Pledge to strive
to give all that I can spare,
to give all that I can spare
of my time,
of my time,
of my strength,
of my strength,
and energy,
and energy
to achieve the above said.
the above said.
Give yourselves a hand.
Yes, congratulations, Brianna!
Man, beautiful. And remember, as always, all lives can't matter
Until Black Lives Matter,
and Black lives can't matter until
all Black Lives Matter.
justice or else.
Peace.
Yeah.